So anyway, this is Mike, and he's had, you know, he's been doing some singing here, so his voice is a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen the posts.
Okay. So why don't you do a close-up so we get the sound in, you know, tighter.
There's another 200 online I put up this morning before I come up here. And I didn't have a chance to crop or do any fixing to them, but they're online already. From last night, I took 200 pictures.
Okay, get a shot of Angelo over here. So Angelo, what are you doing on the picture?
I'm working on getting the comic book tie-in, first of all, see if we can get that in with one of the comic book writers in the area. And I'm also working with him trying to get storyboards, cover boards, all the artwork that needs to be done for the film.
Good.
Great, and also you're working on casting, helping out.
No,
with
yeah, casting locations.
Great, great.
Found a good casting location, a good willing store owner in Sierra Vista.
Where?
At Pyramid Comics on Fry Boulevard.
You want
So,
to
When?
26th of this month, March. 26th of March.
Time?
9:30 to 11:30, right?
Yep.
All right, got it.
Okay. All right. Why don't you do a slow pan around? We're in Tombstone, Arizona right now. Okay. And actually, who knows Tombstone pretty good here? Do you want to? What are we looking at here? What street? This is Allen Street. Okay. Very infamous, you know, street. And let's look down this way. Now, what are those mountains down the end of the street?
Mules.
Mules?
You
Okay.
can
Great.
see, you can see sheep's head, it looks like.
And so this is 5th Street, okay? Now we're going to take a look down to the right.
Toward the bird cage. There's some people riding horses. Cool.
Okay, great. And let's walk out in the middle of the street.
Okay.
And so we're looking down this way. At the end of the block on the right-hand side is the Birdcage Theater. Very famous back in the old days. Still famous. And then this is the Longhorn Restaurant. That's where we all met up today at high noon. Okay, so Bill, so why don't we introduce yourself, and we'll go down the line and introduce everybody else.
Okay, I'm Bill Crouch. This is a concept that I created for Zombie Billy of Tombstone. We're out here in Tombstone, Arizona. Mark Headley, the producer, has taken this film. We got Dan here, we got Mike, and Angelo.
Hey.
Hey.
And Bill, so where are we right now?
We're right outside the Birdcage Theater, which I've already done a couple of films on and put up on YouTube.
Isn't that where Wyatt met Josie, actually?
Probably, because
He was an entertainer.
if you've taken the tour downstairs, those rooms were $45 a day, which was, even by today's standards, is a lot of money. So that's where him and Josie met. Maddie, of course, was probably at home and pissed off, or on laudanum, because she was addicted. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably where it started. Hey, and you know, they had an 8-year poker game going on in the basement.
Really?
Yeah, I found that out Wednesday. We were out here filming. 8 years, 6 months, so many days.
Wow.
A continuing poker game. At the time, it took $1,000 to buy into it. Of course, by today's standards, that's probably what, 35, 40,000. So, Diamond Jim Brady was in it, Bat Masterson, you know, a whole bunch of people. But that's on a previous video that's up on YouTube.
Right. Okay, so Mike, tell us a little bit about you're dressed in the regalia of the Old West. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you do.
What I really do for a living is I fabricate signs, design signs for the U.S. Army on Fort Huachuca. I've done it for the last 20 years. I can't talk because I've been screaming over a microphone and lead guitar players and drums, and I won't stop long enough to fix my voice. The clothes I'm wearing, you can't really buy. I got them all out of old thrift shops and stuff. Just a coat and the hat and the boots. The rest come out of old clothing stores.
Great. Okay. And Mike, or excuse me, Dan.
Mike?
No, you're Dan. Okay. Sorry. Dan, tell us a little bit about your outfit.
Well, I've bits and pieces. Some of them are from thrift stores down on 4th Avenue. And the boots are from Cowtown out there on the highway. Jeans I got basically off the internet somewhere. The hat is again from Tucson Thrift downtown. All put together. This came from the vintage clothing as well, where I got the shirts.
Great. Sean Marcus, why don't you come on up here and say a little something? So what are you doing? What are you doing here?
Just seeing the town.
How do you like Tombstone?
Very good. Well, it's better than Town.
Oh, great. Thanks. Okay, so that's another shot down the street. This is Allen Street still. Okay. And so we've got you know, some other buildings here.
To promote the story in the Tombstone epitaph. For you people that don't have the Tombstone epitaph.
And there's Mark Headley. Okay.
Who's that?
So actually, you can go online. You can go online, can't you, and get this at Google the Tombstone Epitaph.
I guess I'll put that link on the video in the information section.
Great.
So everybody can read it.
Terrific. Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen.
Guess why we're doing this?
Why?
Because of a Hollywood producer.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mark, want to meet Stacy?
Stacy, hi, Mark. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Stacy's one of the guys that's working here at the moment.
Oh, great.
He was formerly employed over at Six Gun City before it burned, and
then you had to move on, right? You had to move on. Yeah.
And he's an Iraq veteran.
Oh, really? Great.
Yeah.
Great. Good to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about this tour.
This is we take you back through 4 period correct rooms, and we use animatronics designed by Disney and Hollywood special effects to give you a good lesson about the Old West, and it's a lot of fun and education.
Great, great. And you're open 7 days a week or 7 days a week? Great, very good.
And this is Tombstone Ghost and Legends.
This is an original 1800s Concorde stagecoach. Looks like it's been around, doesn't it? A little bit like my girlfriend Kate. The first cross-country stage line passed just north of here and usually made the St. Louis to San Francisco trip in 22 long days. At the end of the journey, the first cross-country passenger remarked, "I now know what hell is like. I've just had 24 days of it."
And rocks were piled on top of the graves to keep the varmints out. Back in the 1800s, most people were prepared for burial in their own homes. But this is Tombstone. Many people didn't have that option and were brought here to the undertaker's parlor. They usually got a plain wood coffin and a wood headstone if they were lucky. Bodies were rarely embalmed in those days, so they needed to be buried quickly. The McLaury brothers and Billy Clanton, victims of the famous OK Corral shootout, were buried the very next day. Their headstone states that they were murdered on the streets of Tombstone. After 2 days in hot weather, the bodies were starting to get pretty ripe and had to be buried in Boot Hill. Now several unmarked graves are found there.
Hey Doc, what are you taking me to Boot Hill? Haven't I been here long enough?
Patience, Billy. Everyone is in such a hurry nowadays.